Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Mixed Nuts. Today we are going to take a look at Keyshape. So I've talked to you guys in a couple of previous episodes about wanting to find a replacement for Adobe Flash or Adobe products in general for various reasons. Now, I found a tool called Gravit Designer a couple of weeks ago, and that has been an amazing tool to use for graphics and just generally making vector pictures for my games. Now, I haven't until last night found anything that replaces Adobe Animate. I think I called it Flash before. Old school. Adobe Animate for animation. There's a whole bunch of tools online, both free and paid, that are amazing. However, I haven't found anything that quite matches up to what what Animate does. And in a way, doing animation in a simplified manner, puppet types, cutout style animation, without making things overly complex and having to worry about setting hierarchies and bones and parenting and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so not all of those are complex, but some of them, setting up meshes and deformations on your vector objects and bones, that can get really full on when there is a lot of the time no need for it, especially when you're making simple, cute little graphics for games, where all you need is a character squashing, stretching, blinking, waving their arms around, something like that. So by some freak accident, happy accident, I found Keyshape yesterday while looking for some tools. Now, sadly, this tool seems to, it's only available on the Mac store, but it also seems to be only available in certain countries. So hopefully if you're watching this, it is available in yours, and hopefully you're on a Mac. I haven't yet found anything for PC that measures up to or really agrees with me as far as what I need for animation. Now, I did talk about the fact that I don't really need an animation tool a lot because of the awesome tweening features in Construct, but now and then I do need to export something that would take me quite a while to set up a tween. So this is where Keyshape will come in handy. Now, it's got a 14-day trial, and the program afterwards costs, I thought I saw it here somewhere, I think it's $29. I'll just see what happens when I click on this, if it's going to take me to the page. Yeah, so $29.99, and this is, I'm pretty sure, in American dollars, because when I go to the New Zealand side, I think it's about $50 for me. So obviously that price will vary, I think. Let's go back to the main page. Now, let's not go through all the info here, but let me just tell you, this is a pretty sweet tool. Like, I'm just going to show you. So when you open it up, I think I've got 13 days left. I've downloaded it yesterday. We can just set up a project. I'm just going to use Medium. Now, this is your main screen. Now, straight off, I work with grids. I like using grids because of it makes things nice to set up when you're animating, especially when you're working with games or on games, because sometimes you need precise coordinates, you need your objects at a precise location. I like using grids. Okay, so straight off the bat, there is a grid option right here. You can set the opacity, spacing. I'm already sold on this tool, right? But that's not the coolest part of this. This is what is this part? Wait a second. If you let hover, when you hover over things, show grids, and what is this? Show pixel grid. Okay, different. Oh, okay. I guess that's for actually individual pixels, possibly. When you get really close, let's try and zoom in. Option, is it? Let's see if that works. Okay, so when it's highlighted, Oh, there you go. So that's pixel grid. Awesome. Wicked. Okay, I haven't noticed that before. Now, hands tool will move your screen. You know, then you've got your normal arrow type thing, all that stuff, right? Now, the cool thing here is, while it's an animation tool, it is also a vector tool, which is brilliant. So technically, I could take this tool and use it instead of Gravity Designer. Now, I'm not going to, because Gravity Designer is a lot more complex as far as what you can do with it. Now I'll show you an example. Here you can create a rectangle, and like in Gravity Designer, you can change the corners of it, okay? So something like this, and that's brilliant, really, really cool, because I can then go and change them to, like, let's say 32, and wait a second here, 32, and the rectangle is just going to get more rounded and non-destructive, so you can keep changing things. That's really cool. The problem here is I cannot find a way to only change certain points like in Gravity Designer, which is amazing. That's a really, really awesome time saver. Now you can change the Y, unlock this so the corners are uneven, a little bit shallower on one side and then deeper and so on, but you can't just, like, as far as I know, I could be wrong, you cannot just change, like, let's say the top left corner. Okay, so that's one thing, that's fine. Still completely brilliant tool. As far as I know, it doesn't have complex features like combining shapes, inverting, and all that sort of stuff like Gravity Designer has, but that's not what we're here for. I'm here for animation mainly, and you know, if needed, this would be perfectly sufficient to use for a drawing program for what I do. However, Gravity Designer is just a little bit better and allows me to do things a little bit quicker as far as drawing goes. But again, that's not what we're here for. If I have found this before Gravity Designer, I would be quite happy using this as a graphics tool, to be completely honest. Now, if you only have money to buy one, this does animation and graphics. Graphics are not as good as Gravit, but Gravit also has a free version, okay? For me, I'm going to be using both tools because they both have their merits. Now, let's say I wanted to add a couple of eyes to our character, okay? So we're going to make a little blob. So I just made a couple of ellipses. Just going to copy and make another one. I'm going to make this black. Okay, I'm just going to show you a really quick example of something. And Command Shift Up will, I think it's Command Shift Up, will move things through the depths. Okay, now, so this is our blob. Now, what we can do here easily is select the whole thing and go Command G, and it'll group it. So now in your little layers panel here, you will see your different parts. Okay. And you will see your group. Now, if you drag the group, you can drag the whole thing at once. Now, also, the group itself, if I press F, you can change its anchor point. So now, its anchor point's on the bottom. This is absolutely brilliant, and this is where, this is what I've been looking for. Something that allows you to animate a group, yet animate all its individual parts as well. Now, one thing I wish Construct did, Construct 3, and I'm really, really hoping and hanging out for this feature, is to add proper containers like this, groups, where you can take a whole bunch of body parts of a character, put it in one, and then tween the whole thing as if it were one object, squash and stretch it, but also be able to tween the individual parts inside that object. Okay, so like this. So let's start with the animation. You've got like a little button here, auto record. So here is our first frame. We're just going to go to frame 1. We're going to squash our little character here a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to go to I think that's 1 second, 2 seconds. Gonna stretch it back up. Now, as you see, if I scrub through the timeline here, really simple. Okay, now right here you can tap on this, and you've got little buttons here that will allow you to do things like ease out. So I can select these different options for the keyframes. Now, if I play this, it'll slow down as it approaches the second keyframe, and speed up and slow down as it approaches again. Okay, so ease out usually means starts fast and then more keyframes towards more frames towards the end of the animation, and so on. Ease in would be slow at the start and speeds up towards the end. So I'm just showing you guys how simple this is to use. But the coolest thing here is that I can go over here somewhere and I can select my eye and completely screw with the rest of the animation right there. Okay, see what I'm talking about? I can go over here, change the size of the eye again, and individually animate it to the rest of the thing, but yet its position and everything will still stay relative to the rest of the group. It's actually an amazing software. Now I'm really loving this. For the price, it's really good. Sadly, again, it's only available on Mac. If you guys have the time, check this out. This is a really simple example of what this can do. There is obviously so much more this program can do, and I'm not going to go into all the features, but if you have used Adobe Animate or something along those lines, or if you are looking for a really simple animation program just to do a little bit, nothing extravagant, not that this can't do extravagant stuff, but if you're not looking for things like spine and whatever to, you know, bone your characters and, you know, all that sort of thing and mesh deformations, then this might be just what you're looking for. I really like this tool, and I'll definitely be getting this. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Hopefully you found this episode useful. This is a brilliant tool, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.